Welcome to Midnight Menu Plus One. I'm Ray Canada.
And I'm Margot Moss. Midnight Menu Plus One is a food lifestyle show on the podcast network itsneworleans.com. Brought to us tonight by Petite Pet Care. What is it called?
Petite Pet Care.
Yes. While you're at work or on vacation, you don't have to board your pet. He can stay in the comfort of his own home. For loving care when you're not there, Petite Pet Care. Find them at petitepetcare.com.
Well, each and every week on Midnight Menu Plus One, Margot and I invite a member of New Orleans restaurant and food community to join us for conversation, and we invite them to bring along their own guest, a plus one. We never know who the plus one's going to be. Somebody's a friend, a neighbor, a family member, a fellow restaurant colleague. Well, we're really excited about our guest tonight. But before we introduce her, I heard some news. Did you hear about Addie Martin's book signing?
Yes, Addie and Jeremy's book.
Yep. And we had them as guests on the show not too long ago, and they were talking about their upcoming book. She's, of course, the very popular blogger. And now we learned that she's having a book signing at Pearl Wine, who's also one of our early guests, and also at Maple Street Books and a whole bunch of places all around. I think they're all going to be up in West Baton Rouge, too, all around the state. Of course, the book is about Louisiana cooking. It's not just New Orleans cooking, so that makes sense. But I'm excited about that. I can't wait to read the book because I love the blog. But enough of that. We have our special guest tonight, and I don't want to take any more time away from her. Our special guests tonight is Sharon Poole Mahne from Louisiana Sisters Olives, and this is very unusual for our show because this is a different kind of venture than what we often will talk with. This Louisiana Sisters is this true family food company. I think I read, we'll find out, we'll get her to clarify for us, but I think like everybody that works for the company is literally in this enormous family. But they launched in 2009. They had, with just one product, just jars of olives. I mean, what a thing to start with, right? And now 5 years later, they got all these different products. They got martini mix and pepper jelly and all kinds of stuff that we're excited to talk about in stores all across Louisiana and all over New Orleans, including, much coveted and difficult place to get shelf space like Whole Foods. We know they carry, despite their advertising, they carry very few local products sometimes, and it's hard to get in there. There's a lot of competition, so really exciting to have her with us. So welcome, Sharon.
Well, thank you, Margot and Ray, for having me on your show.
Good to have you here.
Now, let me ask you, I just want to know, are we pronouncing your last name correctly?
Perfectly.
Okay.
Mahne.
Mahne. Okay.
Hear all the letters in there.
Okay. And tell us the name of your the business and how you got started.
So, Louisiana Sisters is the name of the company and the name of the products that's on every single one of our product lines. And I got started because growing up in a family, like Ray said, very large, you learn to find your own niche. And I have 9 other siblings, which we have all been very close growing up and still are today. And one of my other siblings also had this desire to run a small business. So after many years of just trying to figure out what we wanted to do together and the right timing, we got together and we said, we'll do Dad's spiced olives, because my dad always created these spiced olives, and we had them in the house always.
Now, explain that. That's a little weird. I didn't understand where that comes from. Now, does he actually have like an olive tree in his yard?
No, he doesn't, but we would buy jars of olives, and then he would spice them in his secret little recipe. And so one day, my sibling and I are just sitting there saying, okay, well, what are we going to do while we're having a party drinking our martinis with this olive in our martini? And we both looked at each other at the same time and said, wow, why don't we do Dad's recipe? So my other sibling went to work in doing all the paperwork with the state, and I went into the kitchen and created the recipe so that it could be jarred for the public.
Now, is Dad like a chef, or he's just a Louisiana man?
Just a Louisiana man. We've had our roots here since 1844. His family and my mom's family have come here and since the very beginning.
For years then, for a long time, he would take store-bought olives and he would doctor them in some way.
That's right.
Who does that? I've never heard anybody doing that before. It's kind of unusual.
Exactly. Yeah. It is unusual. So when it hit the market, it just kind of went
Is he
bam
Cajun?
for
He's got to be
us.
Cajun, no?
Nope, just great New Orleanian.
All right. Fascinating. Huh.
City boy.
Nice.
Yeah.
So y'all,
So what does he do for a living? Oh.
That's all right.
He's an engineer.
Oh, all right. Oh,
Mechanical engineer. Used to work at what was Avondale back then as their chief mechanical engineer.
And did he know that you did this? I mean, was he?
Yes, he's still living, and he he went from chief mechanical engineer to chief shelf filler on the grocery stores with us. We happened to go into business right when he was retiring, and so he jumped into the kitchen with us and helped us create what we wanted to, capture that flavor. And then he helped me go to the stores in Baton Rouge and sell to them, and he would stock the shelves.
Now, did you stay religiously with his recipe, or did you deviate from his recipe much? Did you improve it?
We had to deviate a little bit so that we had to take some things out and add some things so
To
that
make it
would
more
be
cost effective, or to make it more
stable.
Now, how do you figure that out?
Lots of testing, lots of trying.
Huh.
And then you'd send it off to the lab and let them test it, and if it
Now, what are
didn't
they
have
testing it
enough
for?
pH in it, for the pH balance and the salt take, and just.
And what is it? What are the olives soaking in, and is that important?
It is important because it is all of our own Louisiana spices, everything you'd find in a good Louisiana kitchen, like your cayenne peppers and your onions, salt, celery, celery seed, things like that.
And does it in the jar, the liquid, is it water, or is it like some kind of? I mean, is that affect?
It is a water base, so that does affect it because most olives are in a vinegar base, which gives it its natural pH. So we had to figure out a way to get the vinegar out because we are not vinegar people. I just don't care for that flavor. So I wanted to replace that with something that was milder and had a better flavor to it. So our product is water-based. It's no oil or vinegar in it.
Oh,
and
that's interesting.
the pH balance is lemon juice.
So it probably diversifies what the flavor, it really, and it makes your product unique from other.
It does, because you can go back
products.
to Addie's book, talking about Louisiana cooking.
Yes.
Our olives go from cocktails to cooking very easily because of the water base and the cleanness of the olive. So
Interesting.
you taste the olive and then you taste the spices afterwards, just enough to tickle the taste buds. So when you add it to things like pasta, pizza, salads, it just adds that little burst of flavor that you're looking for.
Huh. I'm a little compulsive in a lot of things, and so one of the things I do is I stock up every time I see something I want. I don't like to have any empty space in my shelves in my kitchen, and I put things together, and I try to put the things with the most distant expiration date in the back and the others in the front. That's what I'm getting at. So I've heard that these expiration dates are like arbitrary. Do you guys like how long having your water base, is that going to make it is it going to expire sooner or later than the oil? And also, does it even matter what the expiration date? Like if it's 3 years expires, will it change the flavor? Or will it actually make it unhealthy?
I have come across a jar or two that I've held over for testing for years, and the very first jar was 7 years ago, and it is still good.
Wow.
Okay.
When you look at it now, when I go to open it. Will it fizz up? I don't know, because I hate to open it now that it's already 7 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you got to save that for your
it's
grandkids. That's an heirloom.
It's tested for at least a year, but I would guarantee it for over a year.
Huh. So those expiration dates you think are
I think they're true to date.
Right.
True to the
You
testing.
probably wouldn't want to go past expiration date, is what you're
Right.
trying to say, because once in a while I get
And
expired
plus,
stuff.
why
so I
would
buy
you
too much.
leave such a great product on your shelf for a whole year without
Well,
opening it
you
and
could
trying
you
it?
could be a nut like me.
Thank you.
No, you could be a nut like me. You buy way too much more than you could ever eat, and then you don't get to it. That's what happens with me
Oh
sometimes.
no! Once you
We need to
taste this olive, you're
psychoanalyze,
not gonna
Ray
wanna-
right now.
You're not going to
This
want to
isn't
let
about me.
it sit. It's all about opening the jar.
Which, by the way,
and
I went and
eating
looked
it.
before I came here, and I found a jar of your olives, which I hadn't. I don't think I've tried yet. I have a jar that's unopened in my closet
Well,
waiting
Ray,
for me.
You
Now,
need
did you
to get
buy
busy
it
on
because
those.
you liked the label? Because I wanted to ask her about.
Well, I'm a sucker for local products. If you put Louisiana on the front, like I'll buy it right away. And then once in a while, I'll buy something that says Louisiana, and I get it home, and it's just like Louisiana style. It's actually made in Texas or something,
Oh.
and then I get upset. But no,
No, we definitely.
I know we know that. Yeah,
Louisiana.
but no, I didn't buy it because you're coming on the show. I just bought it probably because it said Louisiana. I love olives, so.
Well,
Yeah.
I sure hope you go home now and open those up and use them so you go back to the store and buy more.
Okay, but I don't have to because you brought some. I see them right here. They've been staring at me. I'm getting hungrier and hungrier for them the more I see them. Can I have an olive?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Now, is this vodka or water in front of me? I'm afraid
That's
to try.
water.
That's water. Okay.
Now they look pretty.
Wow, what's that?
They're nice and.
That's the celery that's in every jar.
Oh,
and
it's
there's
got
onion
a
and
whole-
garlic in every jar. I think there's another one there, Margot.
You weren't kidding. Those are really tasty.
Aren't they delicious?
Yes.
Those are
So the
fantastic. We have
pitted,
another
well,
one.
these have the seeds in them, but the pitted ones you can take home, and if you fill them with blue cheese,
Oh, yeah.
and put them in your martini. I know people love that. Delicious.
It's such a nice flavor.
so
it
mild,
does not-
but yet
Yeah, it
gives that
doesn't
nice little
overwhelm
kick.
the olive flavor.
So when you put that with your martini, it just gives that extra little yum.
Yeah.
Gives it a
delicious.
New Orleans martini instead of your generic.
I just wanted to ask you a few more questions about olives, because is there? You had some interesting little facts. I thought I had no idea that. Can you share some olive facts with us?
Geez, I haven't read those olive
All right,
facts in
all
a
right.
while.
Well,
Are
one
you like
of
an
my-
olive
do
expert? Can I ask you all
know
kinds of weird
that
things?
They are
that-
very good for your heart, and I know that a
Huh.
olive tree takes 7 years to grow before it can produce, and then after that,
That's-
I don't remember.
that-
Well,
And-
now Grant just came back from Israel. When I was in Israel, I remember going to the olive grove that's in the rough area that Jesus would have gone to the night that he was betrayed, and the olive trees there were as old as he is. Their olive trees last 2,000, 2,500 years and
Yeah.
more. You know,
That's
and
what
that's
y'all.
amazing.
Yeah, that's what I had read on their website.
Incredible,
in
and they're
their
not
blog.
that tall either. They're kind of small, but they're just incredibly old.
I did not realize that they.
But our olive
Yeah,
trees in
I think-
America are not that old. We have
no,
olive
you
trees in
know,
America? We must, right?
Phoenix is decorated. They use them as ornamental trees all over their city, and they are beautiful trees. And they actually have a factory over there that takes those olives and produces an olive oil with them. But you need that dry, arid type of, deserty.
Right, much like Israel, too.
I
Yeah, right.
understand John Besh is trying to grow trees on his property across the river.
Seems like Louisiana be the opposite of,
I
of what
know,
you need for
I
that.
know.
It's the opposite climate of Arizona and
Yes,
Israel, right? It's like
right.
wet and damp,
Right.
not dry and
So I
arid.
don't know how well he's doing with them. But
Well,
I
but he's a
understand
genius.
that
If he's
doing
trying
that.
it, it's got to at least be a chance. Maybe he's going to come up with it. He'll invent a new kind of olive or
That's
something.
right.
Or, yeah.
That's right.
So where do your olives come from?
Spain.
Spain. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Huh.
We looked all over, tried many of olives before we picked this little olive. We like the way that it processes in the way that we marinate them. We like the firmness of them, and then of course the clean flavor.
And did you go to Spain to test them there, or did you just get them shipped here?
Unfortunately not.
Supposed to have the best
Unfortunately
food in Europe, really.
I know.
Yeah, better than
Maybe
France and
one
Italy.
day
Some
I'll
people
get
think.
there.
All right.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm still eating more olives. I got pit in my mouth.
You
but-
sound like you got the mumps. All right. Well, it looks like your plus one is here. Do you want to introduce who that is?
So this would be sibling number 6.
All right.
My dad always teases us
Which
and
sibling are
calls
you?
us by number. I'm number 7.
You're 7. Okay. So that means you're younger.
I'm number 5.
Oh, 5. Excuse me. She is
Whoa.
number 5.
It's hard to keep track when you have
That's
like
right.
42 of them, right? How
That's
many
right.
siblings you have?
10 of us.
10 of you?
10 of us.
Okay.
And how many are involved in the
sibling
olive
number
business?
5.
So
We need to know her
actually-
name, though.
Oh, sorry.
This is my sister Karen, and she is my other half with Louisiana Sisters, the one that helped me to bring it all into reality.
So the two of you are like partners then in this?
Yeah.
Is that sort of what it is? And then the
Yes.
other ones are employees of y'all?
Well, you know what? We don't call them employees. We call them millionaire club members.
That's what you tell people that you don't pay enough.
Amen, brother.
Wow. This is like a sweatshop going. You have all the grandkids stomping
We
olives.
do, as a matter of fact.
Used
we
to. Not so much anymore.
Now we are out the kitchen. We're out the kitchen finally.
So y'all started in a actually bottling them yourselves, and
Yeah.
what was
so
that like?
Karen found us a kitchen over in Gonzales. What was the name of it?
Actually in Iberville. Iberville Parish over by St. Gabriel.
Oh.
And
Health and Hospital regulated. It's the
and I can't remember the name of it, but the man's name was Happy, and he was from New Orleans and a chef. And I only know him by Happy, actually. I don't recall his last name. But
This is your landlord?
he owned the kitchen, and he was the one who first got us started. That's who we worked with to get the taste just right because of the quantity that you have to make. And as Sharon had said, the other ingredients, you had to have a pH balance and a shelf stable. And so he was one of the originals that helped us get to that point of getting that
Now, wait a second.
recipes
He
just
came
right.
up with the taste of your product, and you don't know his name.
no.
No,
His name is
is
Happy.
Happy.
But yeah, so you know that's
Chef
not a
Happy.
name.
No,
It's Chef Happy. That's
That's
how
a
he
nickname.
That's how he goes.
introduces
That's how-
himself. That's who he is.
Is this how he fills out his
Happy.
taxes? This is how he
You know, I never looked at his IRS logs.
that's a real local business. I mean,
Right.
you build relationships, and it's probably not the
It's New
same as.
Orleans. That's New Orleans.
He
It's
is
not
definitely
corporate.
in the science.
The only other
part
Happy I've ever heard of is
food.
one of the Seven Dwarfs. You like you?
Yeah, there you go. But it
No,
wasn't.
he wasn't one of the
No.
Seven Dwarfs.
No.
But he
Wow.
definitely could have been one of the New Orleans characters. I mean,
I'll
this
tell you,
man
know what?
had a New Orleans character.
For our listeners that don't buy this and they think they're making this up, I actually have a friend named Bubbles that I've talked to once a week for a
Yeah.
couple years, and I only know him by Bubbles with a Z. I don't know anything else. I don't know anything the other part of his name. And it never occurred to me to ask. So it's possible. It's plausible.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was it.
I believe
Happy.
you.
Chef
and y'all
Happy.
worked well, and was
So he helped us on the food science
But
part
didn't you have to
of
wait?
it.
Wait a second. Didn't you have to write him a check at some point, or just pay him cash?
No,
No.
we did write
You
him
wrote him
a
checks
check
to Chef
to
Happy, and
Chef
he could
Happy.
cash him that way. The bank would cash him.
Happy. I'm telling you, that was it. Happy.
so. What was you moved? You grew from that into
So,
a.
Once Chef Happy helped us find our pH balance and get the recipe down right, we went into a health and hospital regulated kitchen, and that's when all of the siblings and mom and dad jumped in and came and helped us package, and we did one batch of olives. We made like 8 cases of olives, 12 in a case. Okay, so now it was up to me to go out there and sell them. So I took them to all of our local grocery stores and asked the managers if they would help us out and put them on the shelves and see if they would.
Well, the good
Could
news
sell
is, like,
'em.
if you tried to open a bakery, you'd have like a couple days to get rid of the product. But with olives, you probably had a few weeks to get your legs and find the right place and whatever. It probably wasn't as much pressure, huh?
Who was your
Well,
first
that's true, but
client?
I knocked on people's doors like Dornax, Langensteins, and then in Baton Rouge there was Calvin's Bocage and Calandro's. And all 4 of those people said, yes, we'll take them.
Right away.
Really?
Try 'em. Right as
Sight
I'm
unseen, or
holding,
did- or
I'm
did you have to
holding
open up
the
a
case
jar?
in my hand.
Did you ever open up a jar and have them taste them?
Well,
and they
I
just went,
brought them
"Eh."
little samples to try,
Ah.
and some
I
of
noticed
them
it,
tried
sure.
them and some of them didn't. And they said, yeah, we'll put them on our shelves. From that 8 cases, we have gone into like a whole weekend of making olives with everybody there, bottling, and probably, I guess, our biggest production was about 20 cases at a time. And now we are finally in so many stores that we are now having them co-packed.
Co-packed.
Congratulations.
That
Right.
somebody, a
And the
manufacturer, is doing
timing
them
is
for
perfect
us.
because these days you look at the stores, people want homegrown. They want the micro brewery,
Yeah,
micro
right,
winery,
right.
micro manufacturing
Right.
food products.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
definitely.
They want the area.
So now, is it? There's not a machine putting this thing and adding the spices, huh? You doing that by hand each time, or you have a machine that does that, or
No,
how does
by
it work?
hand.
It was all by hand
Is it
because
still by
we
hand?
would the people who are co-packing it.
Yeah.
Yes, it is by hand.
So they're
still.
pouring it into jars manually
Yes.
and then putting the
Yes.
olives in and sealing them.
Yes.
Wow,
yes.
that's amazing.
Yes.
Huh.
That's what keeps the freshness and the crispness of the olive going.
And all your seasonings. You know, you have, as Sharon, you picked up a celery. You have the celery, the onion, the garlic. You have that in there. And so it would be real hard for a machine to be able to pump the olives and the mix of the seasonings.
Right, but
in there.
Heinz is
So it's
somebody's doing
artisanal.
it though, right?
It's
I mean,
artisanal. No, no.
Not on a spiced olive like you're seeing
Huh.
here. It's-
Interesting.
I think there is one other olive in our neighborhood, the state, that
Yeah.
does a spiced olive, but it's still not the same as ours. Ours is water-based, and it has more flavors than just that pepper. I mean, when you ate that olive, sure, you tasted the red pepper a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But didn't you taste other flavors in there?
For sure, yeah.
So when you eat our olive and you compare it to the other olive that's out there, it's just going to be a little bit different. That's all.
Now I want to know what you. I know you had your dad helping shelf, and but who isn't someone an artist?
My mom is the one who created
Yes.
our logo for us, which is the Louisiana state with 2 antebellum girls and a cypress tree in it.
Nice.
So,
And is that y'all?
well, I'm the one in the yellow and Karen's the one in blue.
Now, you also make other products now, too, right? It's not just olives.
From our olives, we kind of started saying, okay, well, the olives are really taking off. Let's see what else we can do. So we picked up our aunt's pepper jelly. Our aunt, it's actually my sister-in-law's aunt. She lives in Opelousas. She's 102 this year.
Wow.
Still living and still going strong, but her pepper jelly is like the best pepper jelly you will ever taste. And if y'all
Let's
would
do
like to
something with
give
the
it a
pepper jelly,
try.
yeah.
So you taste, it's all natural, just like all of our products are. You're gonna taste the peppers,
So you're going to live forever if you eat this pepper jelly, right? Apparently
Obviously,
this is the
right?
fountain of youth.
right?
I could use that because I am aging
is-
fast.
You
It is
taste the peppers,
sweet
you smell the
and
peppers, but you don't
spicy.
feel the pepper part. It doesn't burn your
The
palate, the heat. So
Wow.
That'd be so good, like on.
That's
I'm
delicious.
thinking like
That's
with
great.
cream cheese on a bagel.
Yes.
Pepper
everybody
jelly.
loves it on cream
Yes.
cheese
with blue
but
cheese.
Over
This is the
blue
second time we
cheese.
mentioned blue cheese, right? But blue
Oh,
cheese. This
my
over
goodness.
Blue cheese, the contrast.
as a glaze on top of any of your meats, your seafoods.
Oh, yeah.
Any dish, whether you're doing it on the stove, in the oven, on the grill, pepper jelly is not just for cream cheese anymore.
Yeah. Did
As
you
a
grow up-
dessert over brie.
Pepper jelly?
Yeah, with meat. Eating
No,
pepper jelly.
no.
with
I'd
meat?
have. I remember my grandmother doing a lot of like mint jelly on
Mints,
lamb and stuff like that.
yes.
But up where I was, I don't remember much pepper. I don't remember any pepper jelly. I never heard
Is
of it till I
that
got here.
Pepper
so
jelly is definitely a southern
Okay.
thing.
I always
But always
just took it
over
for
cream
granted. I didn't
cheese. But
realize
I'm
it was-
telling you, get off of the cream cheese, get it onto brie, to
yeah,
blue
blue
cheese
cheese.
Yeah.
as a glaze on any of your vegetables, even. Just fabulous.
Excellent.
I'm
Okay.
getting
Just
3
fabulous.
jars of this tomorrow morning. First
All
thing,
right.
Langenstein's in the morning. They have it in Langenstein's?
Oh, yes.
All right,
Oh,
that's where I
yes.
am.
So from there, we decided, okay, so wait a minute. We have the spiced olive, and you can use our juice to make a dirty martini, which is just fabulous. Let's go ahead and make a Bloody Mary mix because New Orleans is known for Bloody Marys.
And the people have to buy olives for the Bloody Marys, and so
Right.
yeah, a little synergy
So
going.
we decided to make our Bloody Mary different from everybody else's. We went all natural. We went with our olive marinade is now inside. We use it as one of the mixes to create the flavor of our
nice.
So
Bloody
wait,
Mary.
after it's been marinating with the olives?
Yes.
So you
So
remove
some
it.
time goes by. It gets the flavors, and
Right.
then you
And
pour it
we
in the.
put it
all right, I
right
gotta
into
try
that.
it.
Definitely
So
should
now all you need
try.
to do
I
is
got a
make
little
your own
vodka
brand
in
of
here.
vodka, and then you have the whole thing.
Or I could just partner up
Then
with
you can-
somebody who already is making a vodka, right?
Whatever, yeah, but put your label on it, and then you can have some a series of alcohol
'cause-
treatment centers for the people.
That's right. That's right.
You know, then you could be like Monsanto
We
and these
have
other
a
people. You have the
diverse
whole circle.
corporation.
Yeah.
I started out as an olive lover, and then I'm
Full
in there,
circle.
the
Now I'm
Louisiana
full circle.
Sisters Treatment Center.
People
Full
think we
circle.
are in the religious habit, so I say, "Amen, sister." We'll take care of you in all aspects.
Nice.
that
All
is-
aspects.
Very nice. It almost has a little. I see molasses in it.
No, that would be the Worcestershire.
Worcestershire, because it has a little like a smoky taste and a.
I want to be a Bloody
Nice.
Mary kind of guy, but I'm just not. I fake it all the time. I shouldn't. I'm getting to an age where I need to stop faking it. I have enough cocktails in my life. I don't know that I need another cocktail in my life, but I'm so I'm going to stay neutral on this one. just
I
'cause
think
haven't
you
had
should
it.
now,
try
if
this.
you
I'm not
try
morally
that, you
opposed to
compare-
Bloody Marys. I just don't like
Well,
them.
it's a different flavor than your Bloody Mary mixes that you've
All right,
had
I'll have
a sip.
before.
I'll have a
It
sip.
really is.
Okay, all right.
Oh wait, are you sick still?
Yeah.
Oh,
Let me
damn
make
it.
you your own glass.
All right, but then we don't have any vodka. We
you have
used up all
ice?
the vodka, right?
The nice thing is that the
No.
vodka doesn't stand out. Here, you got to put some ice in it.
Yeah, but it should have vodka even if it doesn't stand
All right,
out.
Ray, Grant, will you do them up a little bit?
Yeah, I'll hook it with a.
Because this is the first time. We
I
have
haven't
to
had-
have it right.
Well, no, I mean
the
I've had Bloody
proportions.
Marys before. I go years in between them.
It's very
Gotta at
nice.
least
It's
just try
hearty.
it.
It's
Just
hearty.
Take at least a sip.
I just
But
don't
a
like the
little
idea
refreshing.
of tomato juice.
Oh, the tomato
Yeah,
juice.
it's just it's not my thing.
Does anybody else in your family not like Bloody Marys? Or like, what do you do if somebody's like, eh?
Oh, geez, and we are all Bloody Mary drinkers. We're all any kind of cocktail drinkers.
have you ever had a family member that when you're taste testing or really is opposed to something, or they you've had
Oh, you have
to
different
negotiate?
But they
Different,
do
yeah.
have difference of taste. So, yeah, they do have a family member. Actually, we do have a brother who really doesn't care for the Bloody Mary.
Oh, all right.
So,
Huh.
he's a straight kind of tomato juice man. So, he didn't want anything
wants
in
some virgin.
it. So, to be honest with you, yeah, there is. But for the most part, everybody does actually like all of our products. And this was the only
Nice.
one that we had one dissenting member of the family. But any place we go, though, really, we get raves of accolades coming in on the flavors, that it is really quite different, and it truly is a more of a natural New Orleans flavor, and that's what they really like about
Nice.
it, New Orleans spice.
Now, did the two of you both grow up in New Orleans? Did your family grow up in New Orleans?
Yes.
Can you tell by the accent?
We're out of
Definitely.
the Metairie area.
Yeah, in the Metairie area. Okay.
And I have to say, as Sharon said, my dad, he wasn't a chef, but New Orleans, so we do the grilling or the crawfish balls, oyster opening. But
That's good.
since he has retired, he has become quite the chef.
Oh,
He has become quite the chef.
Well, one of the things that people always say about Southern Louisiana is it's the only place in the country where the men do more cooking than the women, it seems like. And
Or at
that's
least
unusual.
50-50.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, that's very true.
That's not true anywhere. It's 90-10 other places for
Yeah.
sure.
I think
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
still true here. It's
Yeah.
just when you guys get older, then you have more time to play in the kitchen, and so it looks like you're playing more.
it's so attractive, though. It really is.
I
to
think
have-
it's a great attraction to have
Yeah.
the man in the kitchen cooking.
It's fun. It's a lot more
Yeah.
fun.
I never cooked till I
but-
moved here. Never in my life till I moved here.
No, you were a mama's boy and taken care of, and
I don't know. I just always, I was always so busy. I always had, I didn't have time. To me, it seemed like a waste of time to cook. I hated doing it. So, but now I've relaxed a little bit. I'm busier now, but I'm more relaxed, I think.
do y'all cook?
Yes.
As well?
Yes.
All
y'all?
the time.
We
love
have
cooking.
a lot of big family gatherings, as you can imagine, and so it's always in the kitchen cooking. Everybody bringing a dish.
And everybody
Constantly.
cooks. Yeah.
So when do you get
We
sick of
love
eating
cooking.
olives?
I don't think
haven't.
you don't. I have a martini just about every single night with my olive in it.
Nice. Now, did you have a martini every single night with an olive in it before you started the business?
No, because I was busy raising children. So now that those children are up and on their own way,
You can
I
enjoy
have
yourself.
as many martinis as I want, but I have only one.
So is that you were a mom before you
Yes.
started this business?
Yes, I
Okay.
was. I was definitely a stay-home mom, raised my 2 children, and once my son got into the Naval Academy, actually, I think is when we started the business,
Well,
right?
actually, can I interject a little bit of her story?
Yes.
So Hurricane Katrina came around, and her son went to Jesuit, and so they moved to Phoenix to have her son, he was a senior, to have him finish out because Jesuit did have to close. And so that summer, I went to Phoenix to drive back with Sharon because they had a few cars, and I drove back with Sharon to drive him back into New Orleans. And we were talking on my visit there, we were talking, and that was her last child going up, and what's going to be the next phase of my life? What are we going to do? So, and as Sharon had told you earlier, she and I both always had this entrepreneur spirit in what kind of business. So it got our heads rolling. And then that year on one of the holidays, I'm not sure if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas holiday, we were at my folks' house. And we love cooking, and we were all cooking. We were all in the kitchen and working and fixing up some dishes. And then it just struck us, and we were eating some of my dad's spiced olives. And then we looked at each other, and it just struck us. Really, it was just so natural. That's the business. That's the business. And Sharon had her email signature was Louisiana Sisters. And I looked at her and I said, and you have the name for the business. It's your email. It's
So it was in an
Louisiana
instant.
Sisters.
It was like
It was.
like
It
love
was
at first
natural.
sight,
That's
kind
right.
of.
And my mother loves drawing, and we looked and said, the label, it really fell right in place.
And was the process as organic as that as well? I mean, was it a struggle in the beginning?
Oh, yeah,
or?
we did have our own struggles for sure. Any business is going to go through, the trying to find their way struggles. Pretty much is what it was. But the more we did, the more the doors opened,
Yeah,
and the
we
more
had
it was
doors
like, I
opening.
can't believe, that we are moving this quickly in this direction. And so
And I'll give
it's just
I'll give some kudos. When we were looking, Sharon was a stay-at-home mom and nurturing her family. I'm always been in business and a businesswoman, and so I really had and sales and business development.
sell?
So I developed medical networks and negotiated medical contracts and some other different industries, engineering sales, and insurance sales. So I had some ideas of in and out of business, so I had that part and did that part. But I'll give some accolades. Once we really got into it and we were really able to find, and I'll give for the state of Louisiana, the Louisiana Small Business Development Center and Louisiana Economic Development.
Yeah.
They really
Were they great?
wonderful for any small business coming and really giving you some ins and outs and showing you the steps.
So what kind of things
And-
did they
and
do? They just
even-
coached you through it for free, basically? And
Absolutely, for free. But they also had
accounting, law, business development.
helped us with setting up our name and small grants. And I don't want to say this too loosely.
Yeah.
It wasn't like don't go out and this big grant, but it was small grants to help you get started. Half.
Now, how'd you
some
get in contact with
technical.
them?
So online, I just went in and online and looked up. You
found their
know,
webpage
what
and-
can right, and I found the web page. What help did the state have for small businesses, and that led me to the web pages. And then Sharon and I followed up on it.
All right.
And then Sharon really went through all the way, even with more advanced business classes with them.
Huh. Well, I think it's time for Off the Menu, isn't it?
Yes. So, sisters, we come to a point in the show where we, it's called Off the Menu, and we ask you each a question that you would not be asked at the Small Business Development Association or at a job interview, kind of quirky question.
Okay.
So, I have a question here. So Sharon, what do you strive most for in your life? Fulfillment, security, love, knowledge, or something else?
Well, I already have love, and I definitely already have security with my love. So what I really strive for is giving back to the community. And once I can say Louisiana Sisters can give back to the community, then it would be success that I'm striving for, and that would be my success.
Oh, that's beautiful. And
You're ready for the Miss America contest. That was smooth. Wow. So, what kind of ways do you want to give back to the community? What's part of the vision?
I see giving back to our schools, starting with the school in my own neighborhood right across the street from me. I already tried doing that when I first opened. I would give a percentage of whatever I was bringing in.
I thought you were going to bring, we're going to give 2 jars of olives
No.
each kid for lunch.
Yeah,
Like
be
under the Reagan
nice,
administration, I'll count as a
No, but
vegetable.
I would like to see help them develop some type of programs that would enrich them that they don't already have. I see doing that. And I see working with some moms that need a little extra help, education, to get out there and do a better job for themselves.
Well, I think you guys would be great at coaching some new startup business, especially in some kind of food-related thing for folks in the city. Hopefully, something that doesn't compete with you too much. But
Well, I just finished
some
the
non-olive
Goldman
related,
Sachs,
Oh wow!
getting Goldman Sachs business class over at Delgado, and I will be going to talk for them next
Cool.
Thursday on
Cool.
how to start up a business. So we'll see how that goes.
excellent.
Nice. All right. Well, I have a question for you, Karen. What's the weirdest use of an olive that you've come across since you've been in this business? What if somebody said, they wrote you a letter, an email, or you ran to somebody and they said, we used olives with blah, and you were either horrified or intrigued or whatever by it?
And actually, it turned out pretty good. But for me, the weirdest was using it as a fish recipe and cooking, layering that fish, and then putting that fish in the oven. And
That sounds awesome, actually.
It didn't to me, but that was the weirdest. But it did turn out
Now
pretty
you
good.
say that,
And
why
I'm
doesn't everybody
thinking,
do that all the time? That sounds
wow,
great.
Sit on my fish, because I just think fish, lemon and lime. I'm a purist
Yeah.
when it comes to my fish.
Oh.
But yeah, it was good.
Now, do you guys? That leads me to the next thought I was wondering about. Do you have another product coming up soon? You think muffalata olive salad?
Well, we used to have a tapenade.
You used to. What happened
We
to it?
kind of had to drop it for a little while. It's on the back burner,
Why?
so hopefully we'll
Didn't
be able
sell
to bring
well?
that up. No, it sells really well, especially during the holiday.
Huh.
Just wasn't cost efficient at the moment.
A lot of manual
But
labor.
that's okay because it's just on the back burner, so that's possible to bring that up. And then we thought of another cocktail mixer that we might be coming out with.
I already told you,
so-
vodka should be next. Then
Vodka.
then the
There you
rehab
go.
centers.
So yeah, we have a couple of we have some things that we could still work with for sure.
Nice. Okay, so do you have a vision? Is at some point where you're like, we don't want to be any bigger? This is too much. This is getting out of hand, or are you still hungry
I
to
bet
see the thing
Mr.
grow some more?
Hines thought that he didn't want to get any bigger either. Just sometimes it just happens. So we're going to take it one day at a time and see where it goes for sure. As long as we're having fun with it.
Now,
we'll see.
are you actually paying people outside your family? I guess you said you had some folks now that are.
I
that
do
are-
have some people, including family members, that do things for me that I do pay. But right now, the person outside the family would be my marketing agent, which is Genevieve Douglas of Uptown PR.
Okay.
And she's really doing a fabulous job.
Cool. Now, what does she do for you? What kind of things?
She's gotten us into a lot of venues that we would have not gotten into before on our own, which gives us a better face out there for people to know who we are and see our
Now, by
product.
venues, you mean events, or do you mean
Events,
into
definitely
stores?
events.
Okay.
No,
Oh.
events.
For example, I was just at the Tipitina's 5K race thing this weekend, and we ran into Kevin and, help me out, Kristen Prone. What is it?
Oh, with yeah,
Yes. I know
Jambalaya girl.
Yes, Jambalaya Girl. This stuff is so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And they had a table there. They were giving out, free stuff to the racers when they were done and
Well,
so
we
forth.
were
And you guys do
in
events like that?
Martini Madness over at City Park. We
Nice.
did the event with Yelp. We're going to be doing Sealed in Style with Easter Seals over at the Canal Place coming
good.
up
Cool.
November 1st. We're going to do Howling Success with SPCA. We did it last year. We do Children's Museum with them every year for the last
Cool.
4 years, if not 5.
So then people, you're helping out the event, and then people
Right.
taste the product, like it, and then they look for it in the grocery stores. And
Right.
yeah, great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you
It
guys
has
usually
been.
man that
It's been a
yourselves? You
lot of
go
fun.
there?
Oh,
and-
definitely, because it's fun.
Yeah.
And people like to see the face of Louisiana Sisters. If you're going to say you're local, then you need to be there and be local. So.
You could hire, once you get big enough, you could hire like Colonel Sanders
No,
did or
you
whatever.
never
Yeah,
give the
could
fun part away. You never hire for the fun part.
Well, don't you think
We're right
that's
at
what
that
makes
jumping off start spot, though. It's that next level. It's got to raise the bar.
Yeah.
We're right there.
Huh.
Well, it sounds like y'all are enjoying every step of the way, and I think that's what helps make a business thrive. Is
Yes.
you're passionate about it, and you enjoy doing it, and I do think a family business is unusual, nowadays. But do you? And obviously, that's been a wonderful experience for y'all. But do you see any? Like at the Goldman Sachs program, are there other people that you have seen that are going back to family businesses, or is it mostly young?
We had 2 or 3 other groups, companies in our class that had family businesses. We had a lady who's working with her daughter, and we had a lady who is working with her husband in their businesses. So I think that because people are trying to get out of that corporate, and because corporate kind of fell on us, in 2008, whenever it fell, people had to find different ways to make their living. And I think people are trying to go back to their roots and do what they like to do and start their own companies. And it's with family that you like being around the most. So
Some families.
You know,
Speak for yourself.
everybody's
We
got
have-
their ups and
that's right.
downs, but you
You have
work
to work
through
out.
it and you keep on moving forward, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's
not
unusual.
always.
All-
It's not always a bit of roses.
All 10
You
of
do have to
your
work
siblings are
through.
local, huh?
No, not
Oh,
all of
oh.
them. We have one in Washington, one in Alabama,
Carolina.
and one in South Carolina.
So 7 of you are local.
So yeah.
So those are the ones
Exactly,
involved.
and those are the ones involved. But the other guys are involved
Cut
too
the other
in
ones out of the
other
inheritance,
ways.
I say.
No, they still
Move back
They
or
still
they're
help out in the ways that they can. So, a family affair. It's you got to go all the way together. Got to have as many rows pulling for you as you can.
Margo, looks like we're out of time, aren't we?
Well, before we go, will y'all tell our listeners how they can find your website and some information to purchase your products and learn more?
So all of our products can be purchased at your local grocery stores. Everybody carries it, just about anyway. And if you wanted to go to our website, it would be louisianasisters.net. And you can definitely purchase our product off of the internet also.
All right, louisianasisters.net.
.net.
Why not .com?
.com was already taken, and so we went with
Who is
.net.
louisianasisters.com?
It's actually up for sale at the moment, but I'm so comfortable with .net. I say I'm good with it. All of my followers know I'm .net. Why change now?
They'll try the other one if they, if they don't find it the first time.
If you just type in Louisiana Sisters, I come right up, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Right. Our special guest tonight on Midnight Menu Plus One was Sharon Poole Mahne, and her partner and sister, Karen Poole. You can find out more about Louisiana Sisters by following the links on our website, itsneworleans.com.
Thanks tonight also to Petite Pet Care for loving care when you're not there, petitepetcare.com. And thank y'all very much for joining us this evening. We had a great time.
Premature, we didn't thank Monkey Hill Bar.
Oh, yes, where we are tonight.
Magazine Street, our hosts, they enjoy a 5-hour happy hour every weekday, every single weekday, 3 to 8 p.m. And every Tuesday is Taco Tuesday, Coronas, Margaritas, and Sangria specials. They should probably add Bloody Marys to that. We'll talk to them about it.
Yes, Louisiana Sisters, Bloody Marys.
Exactly, plus $2 tacos. Well, that's it for tonight's show. We'll see you next time at Midnight Menu Plus One.
Thank you so much.
Midnight Menu Plus One is produced by Margot Moss, Grant Morris, and me, Ray Canada. Our technical director is Chris Keogh.
You can find photos from tonight's show on our website, itsneworleans.com. On itsneworleans.com, you can also check out our blog. You can listen to lots more episodes of Midnight Menu Plus One and our other shows, including Out to Lunch, Happy Hour, True to the Game, and Mindset.
You can hook up with me and Margot anytime by following Midnight Menu Plus One on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And you can also Google Midnight Menu Plus One, and we come right up.
The fabulous audio quality of this show is brought to us by PreSonus Audio. For more information about PreSonus recording equipment, go to presonus.com.
Midnight Menu Plus One is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For all of us here at Midnight Menu Plus One, thanks for joining us. I'm Ray Canada.
And I'm Margot Moss. We look forward to seeing you back here next week on Midnight Menu Plus One.
You know Labor Day signals the unofficial end of summer, but not the end of your outdoor projects. Lowe's helps you do it right and helps you save with Labor Day deals throughout the store. Shop now and get 2 bags of Stay Green Potty Mix for $12. And keep your lawn looking neat and trim with a Craftsman 2-cycle 17-inch gas string trimmer, now $20 off at just $119. Whatever's still on your to-do list this Labor Day, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 8/28. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii, U.S. only.